In the last lecture, we worked on the functionality where a user can send and receive messages in real time using Socket IO. Now, in this lecture, we are going to fix some bugs and implement some new features in our chat application. So let's go to our application. And the one bug which I want to fix here is, let's say this test user is the selected user for now. And from Edge, Mary is going to send a message to John. Okay, and in the Chrome, John is the logged in user, and currently for John, the selected chat is test users chat. So now when Mary is going to send a message to John, that message will be sent in real time. Let's say, hi John. When I click on it, the message is sent in real time, as you can see, and the message will also get received in real time. But the problem is, message was sent from Mary to John. So this hi John should come in this chat for Mary Jane chat, but it is also appearing for the selected chat. And this is not just for test user. If I select any chat here and if Mary sends a message to John, that message will appear for that selected user. So this is one issue which I want to fix. And for that, let's go to VS Code. Let's go to use effect function where we are listening to this receive message. So what we want here is we are setting this set all messages, right? So inside this function, we want to set this all message only if the selected chat ID is equal to the chat ID which we are going to receive in this data. So here, let me go and let me create a variable. Let's call it selected chat. Now here inside this socket, inside these callback functions which we are passing to this socket.on, we cannot use the states. We already have a state called selected chat, but that we cannot use inside this function. So that's why we are trying to get the currently selected chat by writing some code here. And how are we going to do that? So for that, we have the store. From that store, we are going to get the state. From the state, we are going to get the user reducer. And from the user reducer, we are going to get selected chat. Okay, and what we are going to do now is we are going to check if selected chat dot underscore id, if it is equal to the data, the message which we are going to receive, there also we are going to have a chat id. So if it is equal to that chat id, then only we want to update this all messages state, and this should be it. Let me save the changes. Now in order to use this store, we also need to import this store. So here, let me go and let me write this import statement. We want to import store from the current directory. Let's go one directory up, one more directory up, and one more directory up. Then let's go to Redux, and in there we have our store.js. So from there we are going to import this store. Let me save the changes, and before that let me also check if it is a default export or what it is. So in the Redux folder, if I go to store.js, it is a default export. So I don't need to wrap it within parentheses like this. I can simply say store. Let's save the changes. And with this, now if we go to our application, here the test user is selected. Let me refresh the page. So you see the message has been received for John. But again, let me select this mark what as the selected user. And from Edge, from Mary's account, I'm going to send a message to John. So now this message should only be received by John and not any other selected user in the Chrome. So from here, let me simply send hi. And here we have an error and it says cannot read property of undefined reading selected chat. Okay, let's go back. Okay, this get state, it is a function. Okay, let's save the changes now. Let's try it one more time. So let me refresh the page here. Let's go to Edge. There also let me refresh the page. Let's select this chat and in here let me select test user. From Edge, I'm going to send a message to John. Again, I'll say hi John. Let's send this message. It should be sent in real time. It is. Let's go to Chrome, and there for the selected user, we should not get that message. But now from Mary, we should see that message. Hi, John. Okay, so it is working as expected. So this issue is resolved. Next, what I want is whenever a new message is sent or received, we want to move this scroll bar automatically to the bottom to that new message. So for example, currently if I say hi, you will not see that message directly. You see, we will have to manually scroll down to see that message. For the received messages also, I'll have to scroll down to see that message. But instead of scrolling manually, I want to scroll down automatically. So for that, let's again go back to VS Code to our React application. There, I'm going to write another use effect. Okay. So here first I'm going to pass a callback function which should be executed for this use effect, and then a dependencies array. And there I'm going to specify the dependency as all message. So whenever the all messages changes, this state changes, we want to re-execute this callback function. And what do we want to do here? We simply want to make this scroll bar scroll to the bottom. So for that, let me go ahead and let me create a variable. Let me call it as message container. And to get this message container, let's say document dot get element by ID. And here we are going to pass the ID of the message container. So in the chat area, this main chat area is our message container div, right? So on that, I'm going to add an ID. We can also select it by class name, but I'm simply going to use this ID to select it. And for the ID also, I'll simply call it as main chat area. Okay, let me save the changes. And now let me also go ahead and pass that ID to this get element by ID method. And now on this message container, okay, it should be message container. Okay, on this message container, I'm going to access this scroll top, this function, and here I'll simply say message container dot scroll height. All right, and this should do the trick. So if I save the changes, if you go to our application, if I send a new message, let's say hi, it should automatically scroll down to that message, as you can see. If I say hello, and if I send this message, it should automatically scroll down to that message. And for the received messages also, the same thing should be happening. Whenever we are going to receive a message, it should automatically scroll down to that latest message. So this issue is also fixed. And from our server code, I'm going to remove this console.log statement. This we don't need. And also in our front-end code, I've already explained this. So here what we are doing is, before adding an event listener for this receive message event, we are removing any event listener which is already present for this event on the socket object. So if we don't do that, what will happen is, let's say when the page loads for the first time, that time this use effect will be called, and that time this code will be executed and it will add an event listener for this receive event. And then whenever the selected chat will change, at that time also an event listener will be added for this event. So every time the selected chat will change, a new event listener for the same event will be added on this socket object. And what that will do is, whenever you send a new message, it will seem like that message has been received as many times as we have added that event listener. So if there is already an existing event listener for this event, first we are removing it using this off method, and then we are adding it. So it will resolve that issue. So I think we have already fixed all the bugs which we have for this sending and receiving messages in real time. In the next lecture, we are going to work on displaying the unread message count and clearing the unread message count in real time. This is all from this lecture. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.